Welcome to the Black to School podcast. With two or more gathered, anything is possible. I'm one of your hosts, Hughes.
And I'm your other host, Kedar, representing that Norfolk State. This podcast is to highlight successful stories of students that are currently at an HBCU, alumni of an HBCU, or affiliated with an HBCU. So make sure you tune in weekly.
Hey, what's up to our resident DJ 7 Trey? I'm your boy Hughes. Welcome to the Black to School podcast.
What's up? I'm Kedar as always.
We got a great one for y'all today. We got one coming from all the way down from Tallahassee, Florida. Famu, we are in the house. We got a great one. Kedar, I want you to tell everyone, how was your week, man?
Man, week was awesome. It felt like ghetto love, snowfall meets Love Jones meets summertime in the park.
Okay.
I sat between my wife's legs and she braided my hair.
Where's it at? Where's the evidence?
Nah, I had to take it out, man. I had to go to work. She braided my hair. I went to church with cornrows, looked like I was a party promoter.
Oh, wow.
Just right at the top, because the side's clean.
Oh, wow. Oh, man.
I look like a party promoter if I had on tight jeans and a bubble vest.
Oh, man, that's funny.
What's up with you, man?
Been an awesome week. I actually started back doing hot yoga. I haven't done it in a couple years. It's one of those pastimes that is very relaxing to me. It is a challenge, doing it for 60 to 90 minutes is a challenge. You're in there with that 100-degree heat plus, and sometimes you might be the only one in there in your persuasion, and you sitting there struggling on that one leg, trying to get your balance.
Yeah. So you can't wrap your leg around your other calf. Trying to put your big toe on your other shin. But now, so do y'all do Bikram or is it hot yoga?
It's Bikram.
So y'all on the carpet and carpet too?
Everyone has their own mat. So if you haven't tried yoga, it definitely is an experience you have to try at least one time.
At least one time, you got to do it. All right, I'm excited about today's show.
Me too.
When I say FAMU is in the building,
yes.
And if you've never experienced a rattler, if you've never experienced someone with school pride on the umpteenth degree, I feel for you, because FAMU is all about it. They be like, FAMU. All right. Look, this young lady is a two-time rattler, undergrad criminal justice, went to FAM for law school. She is an avid community goer. She actually leads teams on HBCU tours just so that they can get the experience. She is big in the church as a minister for the youth and for couples ministry. Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for Lakia Shelton.
Welcome.
Welcome to the show, Rattler.
Thank you for having me.
Well, welcome to the Black to School podcast. With two or more gather, anything is possible.
That's right.
Absolutely.
We like to this podcast is to highlight successful individuals from that are current students at HBCUs, alumni, or affiliated with HBCUs. So we definitely are blessed and fortunate to have you on today.
Yeah, definitely. We appreciate you.
All about HBCU, so
For sure. Before we get into like where you went, what you repping, because we already see it on your shirt.
Of course.
We already see it.
That's right.
We start off with every podcast with what is your greatest achievement thus far?
That's right.
Oh, y'all jumping out the gate.
Out the gate.
They always say that. They always say that.
This ain't no warm up. We here.
I think my greatest achievement was actually a self discovery. Like I've always been like a focused, goal oriented person, and then when life just takes its turns and you have to learn how to adjust, I think that's probably one of the biggest things that I've learned is to how to adjust and to be content. Um, Not that my kids aren't important, but I think my biggest achievement is probably just like self discovery.
That's dope. That's dope.
That's what's up.
So, we already know that you're representing the FAMU. We're gonna go into that a little bit, but we want to ask you, tell us a little bit about your childhood and what led you, along the journey of eventually going to FAMU.
Okay, well, I'm originally from Tampa, Florida. I
Okay.
am actually a third generation FAMU student.
Okay.
Sammy has a very, very big presence in Florida, clearly, and
Hmm.
particularly
That's
in
right.
the Tampa area. Well, my great aunt was actually the national alumni president for FAM. So from a little kid, that's all I knew,
Wow.
FAMU. And ironically, my father went to Bethune-Cookman. Uh, so it was almost like a house divided. At um, but that's what kind of led me on the path of going to FAM, being involved, going to every classic. As a kid, the classic used to. I don't even know if you guys know what the Florida Classic is. Um,
We do.
okay. The Florida Classic used to be in Tampa. So as a
Right.
kid, that was what we look forward to every Thanksgiving. So it's kind of just almost natural to go. And maybe a couple months before I graduated, I was like, oh, I'm just gonna go to University of South Florida. And
Mm.
my mom almost had a heart attack. She was like, what? I was like, yeah, I'm gonna go there, they're gonna give me more money, their dorms look nice, all this foolishness. And then like maybe 2 weeks before it was time to go, I was like, I'm joking, I want to go to FAM. I don't want to do it.
You said mom psych.
I was like, yeah, I couldn't sleep for like 2 weeks. And I was like, what am I doing? I belong on the hill. So
Right.
at the last, I couldn't even get a dorm. That's how late I decided to
Wow.
I was supposed to be. I don't know. I had did Upward Bound at the time, which I had a chance to stay on USF campus, and the campus was so nice, and they talk about how much money they give you, and I was like,
Right.
I
Hmm.
just didn't want to go here. Man, that probably would have been the worst decision I ever. Nothing wrong with USF.
So academics, obviously, in your house has always been something that was big in your home, or was it
Yeah.
kind of like something that you had to embrace for yourself?
No, it was big. My mom actually was a teenage parent, so she had me at 16. And then
Wow.
after she had me, she graduated high school. She did go off to college for like 6 months, but she said she couldn't take us being apart. So she actually came back and didn't get to finish at FAM.
Okay.
So she always encouraged me to make sure that I went to school and kept me involved in activities. And actually, my senior year in high school, she re-enrolled in college. So a year before I graduated
Mm.
college, she graduated. She didn't go back to
Wow.
FAM because at the time, she was working, but she did go back to college. So yeah, education was always pushed.
Wow, that's
That's
big.
awesome.
That's big.
So yeah.
So, leading up to your decision, you made your decision last minute, but you got to FAMU. What was it like, that experience when you finally got to FAMU, that HBCU experience, and what was it like
What
for
was
you?
like week one? What was week one on the yard?
Week one, it was like this aura. It was like this almost like a superiority thing when you got there. Like like excellence. You know, people walking with their heads up, and you get to see the Greeks. Every Friday at Fam, we had something called Set Friday. So it was a DJ every Friday. It was like a flea market on which I guess would be considered the yard, which is our set. So it was just like almost like a cookout. every,
That's every Friday.
every
Every
Friday,
Friday.
Set Friday. So, you know, it was such a tradition that if you had a Friday class, at 12 o'clock, your professor's like, I know y'all trying to get out of here.
Some Friday didn't make it.
Right, or if you made it.
If you made it.
You made it. That first week was it was awesome. You know, everybody had their welcome weeks, and it was just like you saw people in their green like blazers with FAMU, and it was just like this excellence, and it was like it's an honor to be here. That's what I remember thinking, like, dang, this what it's like.
Right.
My first week.
Yeah, you wouldn't have got that in South Florida.
At South Florida, they had and at Florida State, because one of my roommates was actually my cousin. She went to Florida State. They had a Black student union, and I quickly realized that FAM is the Black student union. I didn't need to go somewhere that had a black. This is the Black student union. And
we are it.
I'm telling you, we are it. And quickly through that, I mean, she spent more time on our campus, even though her degree said Florida State, because she was like at home there. So it was like an at-home experience.
So even though, you know, you were accustomed to people going to college, this was your first experience. Like now you're there. So were there any challenges your first year that you had to overcome? And were there people that helped you overcome those challenges?
Yeah, I think my first year, oh man. I actually I went on scholarship. My first year, I remember I got a D, just adjusting, right? Because it was so much going on. I had like an early morning class. Nobody probably didn't tell me I shouldn't have got like an 8:30. An 8:30 class. So I did have some adjustments. One thing that I really liked about FAM is they had a program called the Trio program. And if you or anybody's ever involved in like Upward Bound or any organization that helps you get into college and help you through college, Trio is like a support system. It's like the college Upward Bound. So FAM did have that, and I kind of was grandfathered into that because I was in Upward Bound. So that did help me, hey, pick my classes. I actually went in one major, and my advisor say, won't you research that major and tell me what you can do with it? Then I quickly changed my major. So I kind of had a little guidance. I didn't do so much with it after my first year, but my first year was very grounding because it's so much that, you know, your freshman year, so much that's going on. So I think that was probably the biggest thing. I had an advisor. I don't know who it was, but I knew I had Trio, and I cannot tell you what that stands for.
Well, I know you might not remember who your advisor was, but who was your most influential professors or professor?
Oh, my first year, my African American history. His name was Dr. Hemingway. I learned so much about us, our culture, and so African American history at that time was mandatory at FAM. Like your first year, you had to take that. And that's when I learned about Marcus Garvey and all these people that they don't teach us about in high school, or, you know, and it was so intriguing. I had to read all these books. I'm like, damn, nobody told you it was gonna be all this reading. But he was probably the strictest teacher that I had. He was an older guy, but he didn't play. He instilled this, you gotta be on time, you gotta turn your work in. He said, I'm preparing you for the real world type thing. So it was very impactful because it was like no slack. And then probably my next professor actually was a white guy, and he was a prior law school professor, and he knew that I wanted to go to law school, and he said that he didn't get that often where people wanted to go and actually kind of working towards it. So he was very hands-on and taught me a lot too.
Oh, that's dope. Yeah, you gotta have that. So, are you Greek?
I'm not Greek.
Gotcha. Any 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 homecoming experiences that you want to share with us?
Mm.
Whether you were there or when you have gone back, because I know you still go back.
When I was in law school, I went back all the years. Since I've been back, I was gonna go maybe 2 years ago and I did it. But I told my kids that I would take them to 2021. We will go to
Mm.
homecoming. But when I was there, probably some of my most memorable experience, I was a part of FAMU's gospel choir. So we always did like a big homecoming concert after the game. And it was fun. I didn't get to go to those parties like the first 3 years because I was in gospel choir. But now my senior year, I did it.
Hmm.
And I
Took the
went,
robe off.
yeah. I was like, yeah, I'm gonna do something different. And I had a good time. Generally, my parents did come up for homecoming, and then after the game, they would go their way, I would go my way. But I think my senior year is probably my most memorable because it all kind of came together for me, and I was like, oh my God, like after this, you go into the real world where it's not just us and us being Black people. It's not just this is what you see, like this Black excellence every day. That's what I think Young was most memorable to me because I was like, man, this is it.
Right.
The bubble that you're not gonna come back to like permanently. So I think that was my most memorable because I enjoyed the hell out of homecoming.
For sure.
Well, so you fast forward and you graduate from FAMU. Talk about how your HBCU experience has helped you out even after graduating.
It's very intertwined because after I left Tallahassee, I went straight to FAMU's law school.
Okay.
And it was different because the law school is in Orlando, it's not in Tallahassee. And although it's considered an HBCU, it was way more other races at the time than it was what I was used to at FAM. So that was a shock in itself for me. I was like, wait a minute, this is not the FAM I know. And it was like a detachment issue because the law school is in Orlando, and like I said, it was other races. They didn't have a love for the school because they weren't on what I call main campus, so it wasn't an overall experience for them. So when I went to law school, I was like, oh, this is different. But I think law school probably prepared me to come into the real world to see the mixture of people and how to deal with people professionally. But I would like to think I was groomed on FAMU's main campus because it taught you accountability and confidence. Like, I remember people used to say at Howard, they say a girl went to Howard, she was like, oh, they call us the Black Harvard. And I was like, oh, well, we like to call Harvard the white FAMU, like it was like it was this confidence. And I never forget, I had a judge tell me when I was working, he was like, I don't care if you're going against an attorney from Harvard or an attorney from Princeton. He was like, you represent. He was like, it's FAMU. He is F you. He was like, it's fam mother you. And that's how you
Right,
walk into the courtroom. So it was this confidence that I believe that I carry even to this day. And I try to instill it into my children, just like, no, you are it. It gave you a preparedness. With FAM being, it's in the capital of Florida. And so it's right there in the political center of a lot of things. And during that time, you had the Trayvon Martin, you had, I can't remember the guy, it was a young guy got killed at a boot camp. And it was a lot of things that family was just in the center of, and us as students had an opportunity to be a part of, have a say, and march and things like that. So it was just this accountability and confidence. Like, no, my voice matters. Our student government, I swear they thought they were like the president of the United States. It was so very political. You know, when you have like SGA elections, got real. Like people spend thousands of dollars on their elections just for FAMU student government. So it was just competitive, and I think that that's what I carry over, you know, into today, especially in the legal field when I'm dealing with other attorneys who don't look like me. You
Right.
know,
Right.
they come from the just different schools. It's like, excuse me, are you talking to me? Like,
Right,
so
right.
I do a lot of times to be professionally correct. I say, I'm sorry, let me reintroduce myself. I'm Lakia. I'm from such and such and such. Now we can restart the conversation.
You know, Hove in my ear right now. Like, let me reintroduce myself. My name's Kia Shelton. When you call me,
Playing that song.
Oh man.
So that's that confidence, you know, that I take. Like, no, I'm prepared. Like I'm tight. I'm
yeah,
tight. I feel like FAMU gave me that tightness.
nah, that's dope. Do you how old are your kids?
They are 12, 8, and 6. I have 3 daughters.
Wow, wow, congrats.
3
Now
daughters.
you have a teenage young ladies ministry. Am I correct? And a
I,
marriage ministry as well.
yeah, well, so it's multiple. At our church, my husband and I were over our teen ministry.
Okay.
So, you know, we take them to the HBCU college fairs when they come to to Atlanta. We don't go to the other ones. We are such good advocates for HBCUs. My husband actually went to Bethune Cookman.
Okay,
We
another house divided.
Yes. So we are major advocates for that. And on my 12-year-old, she wants to go to Bethune Cookman. My
Okay.
heart isn't even broke. I say, you know, it's okay. I love Cookman. I love all HBCUs.
Right.
Right.
My 8-year-old, she says she's gonna go to FAM, and I told her that's what my check will be. She's
For
ready
sure.
to go. Yeah, but that's what we do. So even in our with the teens we talk to, we always are pushing HBCUs. And in today's, I guess there are kids millennials. Yeah, like this generation, college is
Right.
becoming so, you know,
They don't have to have it.
they don't have. I mean, in the world of internet, it
Mhm.
appears that way that you don't
Hmm.
have to. But I tell them all the time, I guarantee you, you will never ever ever learn what you can learn at a HBCU, in particular anywhere else in the world, not
Wow.
just college. I think in particular HBCU, because you just
What you think is the like the most valuable lesson outside of being prepared that you learned by going to a HBCU?
are greatness, are
Mm,
greatness because um, you focus on what you can do because everything is limitless.
Mhm.
Um, like I said, even with at FAM, how I talked about it being so, you know, political. One of the guys that I came up under, he became mayor of Tallahassee, ran for governor. You know, one of my close friends went on to be Kamala Harris public relations
Mhm.
director. So it's like the limitless opportunities that you get in the relationships you can make. I feel like you can make relationships anywhere,
Right.
but when you tap into your greatness and other people's greatness, because I do believe that it takes a village, you feed off each other, and you know, you make these connections that go further than, I think, a name alone,
Right.
because I can always make a connection from anybody. One thing I learned when I used to travel back and forth on the road as a kid, my auntie told me, she said, always wear your fam shirt when you're on the road. I
Wow.
said, why? She said, because one day I got lost and I stopped to a gas station and I saw a man with a FAMU tag, and he saw my shirt and he went an hour out his way to guide me. And she
mm,
was like, just based on the, you know, the school name alone. So that's something that I took with me, just relationship and a pride for the school that I think is common to anybody who
right.
HBCU.
Yeah,
You,
I agree.
you've talked about the word confidence. Is you've reiterated that in connection when you got on FAMU's campus and what you see from the students while you were there, and even afterwards. With the motto "Excellence is caring," how have you taken that into your personal life and even into your work life?
Um, so one of the values at the law firm that I work with, that everybody on the team had to bring a value to go into the job, to the firm's mission that's published. My value was excellence. And I didn't take the excellence with Karen because it's films, but it's excellence because that's my work, that's my name. And I teach my children the same, especially this year with them being virtual because our school's
Hmm.
not open. So it's, hey, I know this, it's hard as heck to be virtual, but let's still do this with excellence. And a lot with the teenagers that we mentor, because if people don't see you, they'll see your work and how you always leave people. Like I know I said one of the quotes I live by is play by the rules, but be ferocious. So when I think about be ferocious, be excellent. And in my particular field, I am a rule person. I'm an A, B, C, D. So you come for me, I promise you I'm gonna know the rule. And when you mess up, I'm gonna hit you right there because that's my excellence, right?
Boo
Like
boo. What?
pretty much. And right, like, no, you did not do that. My client ABC.
I
That's that,
love it.
that excellence. And I like to speak up for people who can't speak up for themselves.
Mm,
So I carry that in excellence in my profession. In particular, I work in the area of workers' comp. So when employees get injured on the job, who sticks up for them? Who's going to speak on their behalf?
right.
Or like if you have a disability. So that's my job. So I'll make sure I carry that excellence into that area.
That's awesome.
Man,
This.
go ahead.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
No, I was about to say one, thank you for telling us what type of law that you're in. Because I don't know if we asked that, but I was curious because being here in Atlanta, I said it today. If I could do it all over again, I would be an injury attorney in Atlanta because it's 13 accidents an hour.
Oh,
All
yes.
that
It ain't
traffic.
enough. It's not enough attorneys for all the
There's so
accidents.
many. There's so many.
So, we've reached the part of the interview where we ask. So, this podcast is basically to inspire those that might be on the fence in regards of whether or not they want to have their child go to a HBCU or not, or simply just for those that want to show their HBCU pride. But for those that are on the fence, what would you say in regards to convincing them that HBCU is where to go?
I would say do it and don't think twice. Um, 4 years, I guess minimum for college is probably the best time of your life, and you should experience it in a bubble of excellence because all HBCUs have excellence to them. It's nobody like us. It's
Mm,
nobody greater than us. Um, you will leave prepared. Your money will be well spent. You
Hmm.
will leave with like connections, and again, I'm gonna have to say confidence like no other because you know you're ready.
Right.
You can walk out and say I'm from whatever school and know that you're tight, that you got it. You got it. So money well spent. If you're gonna write your check, parents, write it to a HBCU.
that's right.
For sure.
That's right.
Write your check to a HBCU and know that it is money well spent. It is an investment that you'll never regret. You'll never regret it.
I like that.
Like if my kids ever decided that they did not want to go to HBCU, I told them that you can go wherever you want to go, but my check will be at FAM or Bethune Cookman or any other college. So,
Norfolk State.
Morgan State, whatever other school,
Norfolk
but
State. Norfolk State.
my money is gonna go to an HBCU.
Right.
And so I made that very clear when my 7th grader got to 6th grade last year, and we started talking about colleges. So you don't have to go to FAM. You don't even have to go to Cookman, but you gotta go to a black school. No question.
Nah, that's dope. Nah, this has been amazing. Thank you for coming on with us tonight. Now, for sure.
How do I follow? Is it on?
Now we want to tell people how they can get in contact with you.
Okay.
For sure. Let them know how they get in contact.
I'm on Facebook at Lakia, just Lakia Shelton. And then on Instagram, it's Chavon, CHAVON 2004. Believe it or not, my name is not available. So I went with that name. And that was my main two. I do have a travel company. We do a lot of group trips, college trips.
Right.
Put that out there.
When outside opened back up, we focus specifically on HBCUs in the Southern region. I would love to come to Virginia. We can come and visit Virginia. It happens to be a lot of, I think it's 11 black schools in Florida. So we typically go to the Florida schools and the Georgia schools. And then group trips like cruises, adult.
Right.
that I have a try.
The fun from HBCU trips.
Right, the fun, and we do a couple HBCU spring break trips. We do Miami, Panama City, and that nice. Is at luxury class trips. So
that's dope.
Nice. Well, thank you. We appreciate you. Let me before you go though, I gotta hear you say FAMU. Fam, before you go, I gotta hear it.
Oh, okay. All right. FAMU. Fam, goddamn you. All right.
Yeah, she did the snake and everything. Look at her. She couldn't help it.
Thank you, guys.
Nah, you've been fun. Thank you for coming on.
Yes, man. That was great, bro. When I say FAMU got that pride,
that's right.
FAMU got that pride, bro.
They do. Yes, they do. This is a part of the show where we talk about what we got from the interview, where it's basically called the lesson of the day. Kedar, let everybody know, what was your lesson of the day?
I really appreciate Black excellence. And at FAM is so historic, and it's historic to the point where if you mention it, people know. So you have to represent.
That's right.
So I just like the fact that one, FAMU always representing, but she went to law school, and it's just representing Black excellence.
For me, I'm gonna piggyback on the same thing. Excellence. It was something that she reverberated throughout the interview, whether it's her on campus. She mentioned her first time being on campus. It was just like a sense of excellence where everybody was just holding their heads up high. Even after graduating FAMU, she mentioned for one of the judges that she's worked with, mentioning that, when you come into court, you basically have to show excellence. You are a FAMU Rattler. So for me, I got the part as far as excellence, very political. From what I understand from FAMU, very, very political. So it was a great experience. This is my first time actually getting to sit down and speak to someone from FAMU, so this was a great experience.
Man, we need more Rattlers on the show.
That's right, we do.
Hey, look, y'all make sure y'all hit us up, Black the School, the number 2, Black the School podcast at Gmail. hit us up if you have your lesson of the day, or you can hit us on IG or Facebook, Black to School Podcast, all one word. Make sure you tell 3 people. Just tell 3 people about us. Spread the news, spread the word. Hughes and I, we want to make sure we are influencing HBCU life.
Yeah.
And we're doing this because we want to increase enrollment, engagement, and endowments for HBCUs. So make sure you tell people, share,
That's
like,
right.
follow, subscribe. We on your favorite podcast app. Come on.
That's right. That's right. Like he said, make sure you guys like it, share, and subscribe. Got a lot of views. Just need y'all to keep coming back and subscribe. Look, make sure y'all tell a friend. Make sure y'all come back next week. Take a look into next week's episode. See y'all next week.
Peace.
Auntie taught me a lot. Not only did I get the pride and the soul and kind of that whole family feel from, the professors, but it also taught me that you got to go the extra mile. You got to be great. You can't just be good. When you have a degree from, an HBCU, and I feel like Winston-Salem State taught me this too. Like, you definitely got to make sure that you are shining the way that they would, because they over prepare you.